It's quite an interesting operator, and it's got some great potential for ingenious use. As I said, it's, you know, the trick with this particular operator is actually getting these meshes and mapping them, and you know, creating whatever effect it is that you want to with these patches. Now, another thing that you can do is after you've actually used the shape mark operator, you can then apply another shape operator. I'll just quickly show you that, and hopefully we won't have any issues with it. I'll just turn it to rectangle. Oh yeah, one thing I missed out there was generate mapping coordinates, and that very simply puts UV mapping onto these shapes. Obviously you want that generally, so it's on by default. If for whatever reason you don't need mapping coordinates, let's say you're using a procedural, then you can actually turn off that option, save a little bit of memory, save a little bit of speed. I'll go up to align to surface animation, and we'll keep that turned on, and I'll go to shape, just shape, drop that in there. There we go, we've got some shapes. They're obviously huge at the moment, so I'll change these to spheres. I'll make them a lot smaller. Let's go for 0.5, and okay, you can see they're still a little bit big. 0.2. There we go, and you can see they've taken on the scale values that have been passed along to them through the flow. So if I press play now, you can see, there you go, you've got your spheres, and they're being locked onto the surface. So this is another use for the shape mark operator. You can actually use it as a way of gluing other objects onto a surface, if that's you know, what you need out of it. So that's it. That's our last shape operator. I think one thing to bear in mind with shapes is that they follow the basic rule of CG, and by that I mean keep it simple where you can. Don't go overboard and try to use instance city blocks or instance trees. You know, you can do those things, but you've got to be careful. You might just manage to actually instance a city block, but you're going to wait a very long time for your simulations to solve, and almost certainly encounter lots of problems trying to get them to render. So try and always start with the most basic shapes, like these spheres that you can see here, where possible, and only move over towards more complex shapes as you perfect your effect. Often the most basic shapes can make perfectly good particles when you use them in large numbers, you know. As I said earlier when I was showing you the shape operator, spheres are great for doing, you know, gravel and you know, water spray, sparks. You can scale them and things like that. So try and keep your shape simple where possible, and if you can't do that, if you need a complex shape, you can see that you've actually got the shape operators to do that. Okay, let's move on to the next section where we look at the material operators.